Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being here at 11:30 in this second day of ITHIC. How do you say ITHIC in English? ITHIC. Okay, it's okay. So welcome to Mr. Vollmayr.
Thank you
for being here and for explaining to us what his company is. So my name is Roberto Gentile. I'm in charge for a couple of interviews here this morning. Very, very interested in this kind of business, which is quite slightly different compared to other classical hotelier, etc. So let's start from why start a company, why call it Limehome, just a scenery.
Yeah, I was working as a management consultant at McKinsey for 5 years and probably spent 1,000 nights in hotels all over Europe. And I really liked one area of London, which was is called Limehouse. Has a lot of nice old buildings with limestone.
It's true, limestone, correct.
Exactly.
As in New York.
Yeah, like in New York. And we liked the name. We started as Limehouse, and then we thought we need a more cozy, more homey name, which fits better our product. So we actually renamed it Limehome. Although, actually, iPhone autocorrect still makes it Limehouse. So sometimes people still call us Limehouse. Yeah, but we're Limehome. And when I started the business, what I've observed in my hotel stays is basically three things. First, there needs to be value in technology, because you see a lot of repetitive processes, which typically are healed by people. And there are not that many qualified people out there in the market anymore. So it's very hard to find the right personnel.
This is a common problem. Everybody has the same problem.
Yeah, exactly. And secondly, I was traveling a lot, like for surfing, for instance. Right? Either I stayed in the 5-star hotels, which were very expensive for me privately, and then I typically used Airbnb products. And I saw that there is a gap in the market. People got used to these Airbnb supply, but they were lacking standards as they grow older. So we really saw the opportunity on the product side. And thirdly, if you look a little bit into the real estate markets, the typical hotel chains, they need very standardized, huge buildings, which makes it very hard to grow. And we were quite convinced that we need a more flexible approach to real estate.
When did it happen? All the things you have counted. How many years ago? 5, 10? When? Which is the date when Limehome is born?
We started end of 2018, so we're soon celebrating our 6th anniversary.
Good. And as you say, we, because it's a company owned by different people. Can you say something about the structure of your company?
Yeah. So I have a co-founder, and actually now I have a co-CEO. So my co-founder actually left the company end of 2020, and now I have a second person to spar all the large decisions with. But we have a lot of investors, and I think that is part of the success we have actually. We had from day one venture capital investors who mainly invest into tech companies.
So
yeah,
so they liked the business. They liked the idea of business.
They liked the idea of the business, and we also had a personal connection. Actually, we have, with our first investors, we share a history at McKinsey together. So we had basically from day one a 7-digit amount to invest into the company. And we basically had the chance to first build the technology and then start operating. So it allowed us actually to start from scratch and to think in a totally new and different way.
Correct. The second question follows. What are Limehome's mission, organization, you said, and objectives? Give us some dates, some numbers.
Yeah, I think firstly on the mission, so we want to provide more convenient and more comfortable stays for everyone at best value for money with a digital first approach. So the technology always, for us, should be the solution. We know that for many processes you still, and we still need people, but we always try to find a scalable approach first. And that also can be seen in how the organization is structured and built up. So our two largest teams are actually tech. So we have around 60 software engineers in the company and data scientists, UI, UX designers. And the second largest team is expansion. Because in the end, the way how we operate our properties is we have an overhead, which basically builds processes, structures, and on site we're very lean. So we can potentially even operate without any own personnel on site. So that means the more properties we bring in, the more profitable the company gets, because everything in the headquarters can be scaled in a very good way.
Good. And as objectives, because I read that you have a location almost all over Europe. You're correct? Where are you going to open new properties? So are you looking for?
It's a good question. In the end, for us, it doesn't matter that much where we are and where we go. And I also believe that there's almost unlimited potential in each of the countries. Like, for instance, in Germany, we currently have 5,000 rooms or apartments in the pipeline. But we believe that we could easily grow to 25,000, 30,000 rooms in Germany over the next 3-4 years. So there's basically unlimited potential. And the same potential we see in Italy, Spain. So it's rather a matter of where can you deploy your resources most efficiently. And we have found out over the way that the best approach is to grow via hubs. So we opened Spain in 2020. We opened Italy. We have Alessandro here. Like 1.5 years ago, and these hubs, they help us to transmit the same culture, which is very important for us in the countries. It also helps us to get even more economies of scale, and they help us to build up additional growth drivers. So we believe to reach, or we hope to reach, the same growth speed in all hubs we basically have opened over the years.
Correct. As you said, you are developing in different countries in North and South Europe. So my question is, what are the differences between developing in Spain, Italy, or Greece, for instance, than in Germany, in Belgium, in UK, or in Sweden? There must be, because as Italian, I see very much difference between having an hotel in South of Europe and in North of Europe. Is it the same for your business?
Yeah, I think the way how we have built the business and also our product, it basically almost fits all customer segments and traveler segments. So we have a lot of families, we have a lot of business travelers and so forth. And also our design is not extremely, I would say, edgy and expressive. So we try to have a very timeless design, which is functional and works for everyone. And therefore, we actually do not have to adjust the design and the product too much across different countries. It works. I'm always making this joke, in the most ugly German city.
The most ugly German city?
No, there's one city.
Tell us which. We don't go there.
No, please forgive me if I don't tell you, but it's actually for the third time in a row actually rated the most ugly German town.
In Germany, not in France, in UK, in Germany.
Yeah, no, like our product there even has the highest margins at the moment, because there's a lot of business travel and even leisure travel often means someone needs to visit the family. There might be some private event. But it also works in very leisure-driven destinations. Like, for instance, we opened a palace in Lecce.
In Lecce, in Salento, south of Italy.
Yeah. Recently, we are in the wine region of Aro. We have amazing properties in the center of Madrid. And we can actually operate with the same product, with the same approach. The only effort in new countries is usually that we have to make some adjustments to our digital product, like different check-in requirements, how we identify the guests. Sometimes you have to take a video, sometimes you're not allowed to take a video. This requires some upfront invest, but then once it's set up, it's basically working exactly the same way.
I see. As you said, in the next 2 years, you don't have kind of limitations. I mean, you might develop in South of Europe, in North Europe, etc. Which is the way you choose places? I mean, is there someone, as the country manager, who say, let's go to Lecce, let's go to Taormina, let's go to Como, or you make a kind of studies or analysis, or sceneries or whatever, or both of them?
In the end, to simplify it, our expansion managers type in an address, and the system tells them what is the ADR they're gonna achieve.
Any place in Europe?
Any place in Europe. And then there is a certain target in terms of units per city based on the overnight stays in the city. So we do not usually want to go with our first property above 4 or 5% of market share. But 5% market share in Rome, I have to do the math, would be 6,000 units.
Of course.
So I think it explains also the huge potential of the business.
Yeah, right. Which are, my personal curiosity, which are your competitors? You have competitors. Name them.
In the end, it's the whole hospitality industry.
From 3 stars to up to...
Exactly. It's everything besides luxury, leisure, and medical tourism. Like we put a lot of brain power into this also to explain it to our investors. We believe that almost 90% of the travel locations actually work for us.
90%, so almost all.
Almost all, yeah, exactly. Like we host a lot of families, business, leisure in the end, right? And we can go into the most ugly German city with an ADR of 80 euros, but we also have properties with 400 euros plus, where we have very good guest reviews. So actually, almost everything works. And when it comes to the competitors, we see them mainly on the supply side. Like if there's a new asset in the market, I think currently a lot of somewhat similar models from a product side, which have very high GOP levels and are able or sometimes willing to pay quite high rents.
Correct.
These are currently our competitors. On the demand side, as said, usually a guest types in an address on booking.com and they want to see like what supply is around there, and then they choose based on photos, reviews, price, and therefore it could be anything. Correct.
Last question. What makes Limehome as an attractive partner for investors and property owners? Because you explain your business model from your point of view. Try to imagine your business model seen by someone who is going to put money on this business.
Yeah, I first try a short answer and then I give some more context. We can pay attractive rents. They get very attractive yields. It's a product, I believe, where the cap rates will compress over time, because currently we're still on a level like hotels. But in fact, the product has shown that it's extremely resilient. We had 80% occupancy rate throughout 21.
80%?
80 in 21.
In 21, yes.
Throughout
after pandemia.
In the, like when pandemia was in full swing, we are at 91% year to date. So the product, the model is very resilient. And we're also a financially strong partner, which basically can go to any type of city and any type of property. So basically for all real estate investors who are interested in the space, we can be a very relevant partner for them financially, and like also for one property, and also to build up a pipeline in the long run. Maybe to add one point on the rents, which I believe is very important. And I've learned over the years, everything above 40% rent is usually considered over rent, right? If you go to a hotel, which makes a lot of sense because operating costs are high. You typically have 50% operating costs. For us, we have on average 25% operating costs. Yeah, including cleaning, security, maintenance, everything you need, right? So there's 75% left. Then distribution costs might be 10, 11%. So there's a lot of profitability left.
Correct.
For potentially high rents. And also on the top line, on the revenues, we're quite strong with these occupancy rates. So we could pay high rents. We don't want to, because we have, I think, very ambitious profitability targets. But these models, and I believe especially us with the lean operations, we can still grow in these times of very high rents.
Good. So my personal question, the last one, as you named the worst or almost the worst town in Germany, please name publicly the nicest town in Italy for you.
The nicest town in Italy? Oh, that's...
Or 2 or 3. You can mention even 3, 2 or 3. Your favorite town in Italy.
I mean, of course, all Limehome locations, first of all.
Of course.
No, but I really like this weekend. I wanted to go to Puglia.
You haven't been in Lecce yet?
No,
not
actually,
yet.
I haven't been there yet, but I really wanted to drive there. Unfortunately, the weather is not great now, but I think Puglia, it is not that over touristic as Amalfi Coast, and has extremely nice towns and also some villages.
Correct. So Lecce?
I love
also
the area.
Salento.
As a good German, I have to love Tuscany, of course.
Tuscany, of course.
And also as a kid, we were driving around or cycling around with the bike. So I love the area, like Siena, also the smaller wine towns. And then as a third choice, I'm always quite positively surprised of Trieste.
Trieste, wonderful town.
Because for us, it was always like the industrial port. Please don't go there if you go to Croatia. And then I randomly stopped by there, and I think it has developed in a very, very nice way.
Wonderful. Very warm town.
Yeah.
Very warm town. Okay, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Grazie per essere qui. And have a nice day, and go to Salento, which is my hometown. So I'm very proud of it. Grazie.
I will do. Thank you.